What's up, Pan Dudes? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, look what I just bought. It's my DRJ. It's a high 04 mini projector. And I've been so fascinated with these little projectors. One, because there's two reasons. I used to do a lot of presentations, and buying a projector was huge, and they were super expensive, and they were tough to carry around. Look how small this thing is as I unbox it. I'll tell you a little more about my philosophy on projectors. And then Pico projectors came out, and I really wanted one, but they were expensive, and I would try them out, and the video quality was so dim. I mean, they just didn't have a lot of projection capability. And so you had to be in complete darkness, and it kind of projected a very small little, image. And then what ended up happening is like the proliferation of like these little LED projectors, which can be great for just showing, some images and sharing a movie, or and they're super portable, and on top of that, they're just super inexpensive. So if you were out doing a presentation or something, and you used to have a projector like this, say 10 years ago, it was thousands of dollars, like $1,500, $2,000 for this. Now something like this is, what I think, unbelievably affordable, especially for what you get, theoretically, because they work. I got one before, and I was a little skeptical of whether it was going to be worth anything, and it worked. It worked, right? And especially if you do the occasional presentation, or work with a group, or volunteer your time, or travel with kids, or something like that. They just can be pretty nice. It does come with the user guide, some manuals, and then in the box here we have a variety of cables. Looks like RCA, audio and video. Looks like kind of like the component audio video to a 3.5mm-ish jack. So you get that cable. We also have the power cable. We're going to need that. Kind of the standard old school laptop like cable. We also have this bag, which includes an HDMI cable, which is pretty cool. So we do have a relatively long HDMI cable there as well. And then we also have the remote control for it, which is pretty nice. And it actually feels like a pretty decent remote control. I mean, it's plastic. Even the front's plastic, but it looks kind of like a brushed metal. I mean, I'm pretty impressed with that. It looks and feels better than a lot of remotes. Looks like 2 AAA batteries, not included. Little hump on the bottom there, but that actually makes it feel really nice. And then rubberized buttons all around with pretty solid clicks. So pretty impressed with that as well. And then here's the projector. Plastic covers the back end here. Take that off. And it's just kind of like a slight off-white plastic. DRJ. Look at that. We've got the logo down. And on this side, we have a headphone jack, AV jack. We have a TF card slot, HDMI port, USB port. So maybe you could plug in a USB flash drive with either files, video, or picture files on it. VGA out port there. Looks like plenty of venting. Then on the back here, I think this is the IR receiver for the remote, is my assumption. Looks like there's a built-in speaker right here. Over on this side, we have the power plug. On the bottom, we have 4 little rubberized feet. And it looks like we also have a little kickstand here. It looks like you have to twist it out like this. Okay, so it just unscrews, and that's what gives you the height. So no manual quick macro adjustment on it, but I'm sure that'll be nice and useful. And then right here we have the lens. And I think everything, as you can see, it's kind of a thin plastic housing or hood around it. I shouldn't say like thin, like razor thin, but it's just, it's kind of pointy. This edge is kind of sharp. No lens cap or anything that I can see. And then you have 2 adjustments on the top. Keystoning, which kind of either kicks out or shrinks the bottom. Especially when you're projecting upwards on the screen, you get kind of this, trapezoidal shape, and you correct that with the keystone. And you get some adjustment there. And then focus right here. So focus will kind of just move the lens, I think, a little bit to make sure you're in focus. And then on the keypad here on the top, it looks like we have kind of a select button, menu, navigation and OK, back, and then the power button right there. So the next thing we have to do is get this set up and see if it works. All right, guys, so I want to kind of set this up real time. I'm going to plug in. I've got most of the things physically set up. I'm going to plug in the projector here and just show you. This is from brand new. Got it set up, don't have anything else. I've got a little red or a little orange light that went on here in the corner, and I'm just gonna hit the power button. And I have the kickstand. That little light went green, by the way. I do have the kickstand in front, kicked out as far as it will go. I may have to prop it up just a little bit more manually to kind of get, you know, this showing. I do have a light right here on the side still on, and I may turn that off here in a second, depending on what kind of the brightness looks like. And I can tell you right now, it's already out of focus. It kind of showed me the... all right, so there we go. Now it looks pretty sharp, and it's saying no signal, which is just about right. Now I have this thing kicked up at about a 30-degree angle, and I've kind of keystoned it all the way to this edge, right? And you can see it's still not quite perfect. I want to try to get everything in the shot, as you can see. So it's not. So this is kind of the highest angle that you can get it with the keystoning feature as it is. I might just bring this down just a smidge. I don't know if that's any better. Yeah, I think that's better. I mean, I'll refocus here. Get it in. Focus. All right. I also have the HDMI cord plugged in, and I've got it connected to this AV adapter, and I have my iPad, and I was looking for something that was visually pretty stunning. Now, this is going to be in widescreen, so I pulled up Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I just went ahead and plugged in the iPad, and now let's see if we can figure out how to get it inputted. Okay, so I'm just hitting that menu button. It looks like HDMI is what I'm going to want. And so I'm going to select that, and boom, we have my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles up here. Now, I'm actually going to kill this light next to me too. It's not perfectly dark in here because I also have a light behind me, as you can probably tell, that's still on. And so this is not a perfectly dark room, and so it's probably a fairly good test of what this can do. And I'm just going to go ahead and hit play. And a couple things I'm going to mention about what I'm playing here. So I do have the speaker. The movie's playing out of the speaker in the back of the projector. So that does work. Let's see if I can just work on the focus a little bit. Over. And I picked this movie because it's kind of heavy on colors. But the movie itself is actually pretty dark. And I was trying to figure out what I could show that had like a lot of vibrant colors. Now I'm also showing this on my backdrop here, which has some like texture of it. So understand that I have like window shades from here, so that shouldn't influence you. But I can pull it back and obviously continue to make that picture bigger and brighter. And the closer I push it forward, it's going to get smaller. But I'll tell you what, I mean, that's probably like a 30, 35-inch screen, theoretically. I'm trying the volume on the iPad to see if that controls the projector, which it does not appear to be. So let me just pause it there for a second. And I will say that I'm pretty impressed with the sharpness. Now, also I wanted to point out here is that the movie... I don't know if I can keep playing it without the sound.
Are you crazy? We can't be seen. The purple is only trying to be normal. Let's head toward the front.
Okay, so what I also figured out, I'm just going to go ahead and start the movie again, is that the left and right arrows control the volume on the projector. So I'm going to just keep bringing that volume down there because I want to talk through it here as the movie's playing a little bit. But first of all, you know, the speaker isn't great, so if you have external speakers... wonderful. It wasn't also on the highest volume, so I'm sure it would work in a pinch. But I will also say that I'm pretty impressed. You know, you kind of have to dial in the focus and find that a little bit here. But with how good it is, this is much better than the Pico projector that I once had that was like $400. It's much brighter. This movie also, as I was mentioning, is in widescreen. So there's a whole bottom piece here and a top piece that you could be using that isn't even being used by the projector. So you're getting kind of like not really kind of the full use of the projector here. Now, let me see if I can find something that's just squared out, or possibly just shape the output of the movie, and see if I can get use of the full, like, kind of, you know, whatever it is, 6x9 of the projector. Okay, so I've adjusted my iPad here, and so now it's actually projecting on the full iPad screen in kind of that native aspect ratio. So instead of the widescreen, it's kind of letterboxing it on the, you know, not letterboxing it, but it's just filling it out, and so there's no dead space on the panel. And again, you can kind of dial in the focus. I probably haven't played with it enough to kind of get it in. But first of all, I'm just really impressed with the colors. Like I said, this isn't even a perfectly dark room. I want to test that next. But it's certainly working. The speaker works. This would be perfect for watching a movie out in a campsite, doing a presentation on the road. You know, if you do presentations for a living, or for, you know, a charity or something that you're working with, or for an organization, this would be a great way to have a small projector, hook it up to your iPad, your phone, your computer, obviously. You know, it comes with a lot of cables, and be able to project things and share them with peeps. You know, and I've even seen where people will take, like, clips of videos, you know, for their cause when they're showing that. I mean, how powerful is that? Obviously, we're doing things on YouTube and sharing that. So I'm going to kill the light behind me, and we'll keep playing this movie and see how it looks. All right, guys, I have killed the light behind me now, obviously. I still have a small little hallway light on, so it's not completely dark in here, so I can navigate around. But, man, I will tell you, if you've got a dark room, or if your kids have a playroom and want to watch movies or play video games or something like that, this thing would be great for that. You know, especially in a room that is, you know, 80 to 90% dark like it is now. You know, I think this picture looks pretty good. And then, you know, you can obviously use the speaker on here too. Let me kind of bring up the volume. We're at 50% right now. And let's see here, 90%. And then this is 100%.
That footage has been altered. It's been edited. We checked its authenticity. It's clean. I want a phone call.
All right. So what I will say here is, yeah, I overall, man, I'm impressed with this thing. I think this could be a really great companion for you road warriors, family people with kids, and work. And I will say that the color is pretty good, and the sharpness is pretty good as well. You know, it may be just a little bit saturated, you know, as opposed to kind of what I'm seeing on my iPad, which is what I think you'd expect. You know, color representation, especially kind of at a price point like this, is going to be perfect. But man, it's great. You kind of get lost in it pretty quickly. So really impressed with this. Obviously, here at the 35 inch range, looks great, works well. But I'm supposed you could blow this up and do like a backyard movie night or something like that even too. So there it is, the DRJ LCD or LED projector, I should say, connected to the iPad. I'll put a link to it in the description. Pick it up. Peter Von Panda. Out.